are back in the studio, and I'm very, very pleased to be able to introduce someone that most of you already know because Ms. Eggers has been on the program before, and she is the Fairfax County Police Officer, Alice Eggers. And Alice, it's just a pleasure to have you this morning, and I know you have good things to tell us and inform us about, so go ahead.
Sure. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
So I think, considering that the holidays are starting to come up, I think that we should touch on some of the scams and some personal safety. Just tips to kind of make you safer as we're going into the holiday season. Remember, if you do online shopping, because there is Black Friday and then Cyber Monday, that it is best to go to websites that you are already familiar with. I do not suggest that if you get an email for a particular coupon code or whatever it is, you can write down the coupon code or write down whatever the percentage off that you're supposed to get, put that to the side, but then log into the website separately. Do not click on the link from the email. From there, please use your credit card, because if there is some type of scam, the credit card company is the one that takes the loss, not you, the person themselves.
Ah, that's right.
So it adds that extra layer of protection for you. And again, if you need to put in a coupon code, something like that, you already have it written down, again, because you're not clicking on that link. Also remember that as we go into the holiday season, charities are going to be calling, and people are going to be asking for money and donations and things like that. My suggestion has been and will continue to be, pick 2 charities that you feel very strongly about, whatever they may be, whether it's colon cancer, breast cancer survivors, wounded warriors, whatever it may be, and give to those particular charities because you know the background on them. A lot of times when we're, and if it's Salvation Army, that's fine too as well. But a lot of times when we get those phone calls, we start to feel the guilt and the pulling on our heartstrings. And I think by having your 2 charities that you already feel very confident in about, where the money goes, that alleviates that guilt and allows you to go, you know what, I appreciate the information, but I already give to my other 2 charities, and I give to them, with purpose, so I'm going to decline. If you decide on the phone that this particular charity sounds good to you, do not give it over the phone. Ask them to mail you information, and that way you can look it over at your leisure and then decide from there if that's something that you're going to give to. Also remember, as you're going out and about for the holiday season and you're going shopping, you're going to the movies, whatever it may be, make sure if it's going to be later at night, like if you go in for a movie theater, and of course now it's getting darker earlier.
Very early.
I know, that you park in a well-lit area. And that way, when you're leaving the movie theater or you're leaving the shopping center, you already know you're parked under a lit area, and you'll be good. If you have any concerns as you're walking up, you see somebody standing by your car, or you have some uneasy feelings, there are securities that are at the Springfield Town Center, also at the movie theater. You can have them walk you out to your car, things like that. And just as you're walking up, look around you, look under the car, look into the car before you get into the car. Once you get in the car, make sure you immediately lock it.
Or just go to the movies here at Green Springs.
Yes, you can go to the movies here at Green Springs, and then you won't have to worry about it. But again, some people like to get out and about, whatever it may be. And again, I just think it's keeping in mind and being aware of your surroundings. Don't get caught into your phone. If you're walking out to your car, you should already have your keys in your hand ready to go. So there's no question you're on a mission. You're going from wherever you're at to your car to get in the car and lock it, and then you have the key in the ignition. So if somebody does try to pull on that door handle, it's locked, and you can drop it and drive, and you can leave. I also tell people, when you're in this holiday season, be aware that how many credit cards that you're carrying on you. Make sure that you have all those numbers written down at home, so that if your credit card is stolen or lost, that you can call the credit card company and you have all that information there ready to give them, because you won't have that credit card with you if it's got stolen or lost. And you can make that immediate report. I also advise people that when you're out shopping, make sure you dress comfortably, that you're not in shoes that you can't run in, that you're not wearing too much jewelry that shows too much flash type thing, where you might be considered an easy target. So I try to advise people, be aware of your surroundings, dress for the weather, dress comfortably, so that way, moving forward, if something changes or you have an uneasy feeling and you need to, make haste with a retreat, you can do that.
And carry your bag, or have a bag that you can really hold on to, right?
Yes,
Or
I
put
do.
it over your
I
shoulder.
don't like it over my shoulder.
Oh,
I don't,
okay.
because what happens is when you put it over your shoulder, if someone goes to grab it, that means you're going to go to the ground.
Right.
I particularly like having it on your shoulder and then you just hold it to the front of you.
Mm-hmm.
So that way, you know, if anybody comes up, you know for sure. If it comes off, it comes off. You know, nothing is worth you. It's all property. Let the property go. I also advise men that they need to move their wallets from the back side to the front side because they don't have the same nerve endings in the back side as they do in the front side. So move that wallet from the front to the from the back to the front.
Or would it in their pocket inside?
They can put it in their pocket, but like I said, a lot of times, just out of habit, men keep it in the back pocket,
Yes,
and
I
it's best to
know.
move it forward. So that way, if somebody does try to pickpocket you, you're going to know in the front area. So little tips like that. And again, I just think as you're going about being aware of your surroundings and being aware of who's near you, and realize like the Springfield Town Center has programs now where during the holiday season that you can have them take your packages and hold them for you until you're ready to go out to the car, or they even have a parcel service that'll take it within a certain range of area and have it shipped to your home.
Wow, that's
And it's a free service. And
that's excellent.
they're not paying me to say that, but honestly, if I was a shopper here in Fairfax County, I would go there because it's a nice service that you don't have to be dealing with all your packages, and it's a safety concern as you're walking out to your car. Remember, when you leave your car, make sure it's locked, make sure your valuables are either with you or they're hidden or put in the trunk, so that way people that are going by aren't going to see that cell phone, loose change, laptop, computer, whatever it may be. So there's no temptation. It's kind of like those crimes of opportunity. You don't want to give somebody that crime of opportunity. So make sure that all those valuables are put away.
Wow, that's a lot of good advice.
That's a lot, right?
But I mean, a lot of it are things that, because we are of the generation we have heard many times, but it's so important to be reminded of all of that. And now, you know, we don't move as quickly, we don't see as well perhaps, and all of
Yes.
those things impact how we might be a victim or a person. If a person's looking for someone to assault, we look like a good prospect.
Well, I think the biggest thing to remember is for anybody that there's what we call the crime triangle. So you have opportunity, you have the victim, and then you have the suspect. You have control over the opportunity and you have control over yourself. So that's two legs of the stool already right there. So if you can control those two things, then the suspect may not have that opportunity. So 90% of crime prevention is all about stopping that opportunity. So if you can think in advance about where you're going, what you're doing, how you're paying attention to your surroundings and your environment, I think that's huge. Because as you're walking out to the parking lot, if you're looking people in the eye and you don't have to be aggressive with them, but you're looking them in the eye, it's acknowledging that you're there, that you see them and that they're there. And so if they're a bad guy, they go, oh, she saw me or he saw me type thing.
And oh, she's an old lady, I probably shouldn't do this.
Well, I think the biggest thing is just being aware of your surroundings, and that's
Of
for
course,
anybody.
yeah.
It's for seniors, it's for, you know, anybody. And
Yeah.
if you have a bad feeling about something, trust that instinct. You know, that may be your guardian angel tapping you on the shoulder saying, this might not be a good idea. Maybe I should call for security. Maybe I should have somebody walk me out. Don't ignore those instincts because, again, they're probably warning you.
And it's probably a good idea, if it's possible for you, not to go by yourself. Have a buddy.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's always good to have safety in numbers, and it's always good to, if you do have to go alone, let somebody know where you're going, when you're going to be back, and if they don't hear from you, that they call you or contact you to make sure that you're okay.
The cell phone is good for lots of things.
Cell phones are very good, but I'm also advise people that cell phones should not be in the bottom of our purse because usually whatever we need,
Can't.
yeah, whatever we need the quickest and the soonest is usually at the bottom of the purse, which does us no good. That it should be on your person because if your purse is stolen, you still have the cell phone with you, and you can have it on a carrier, you can have it in your pocket, whatever it may be. But I do advise that it should always be on you. It should always be charged. It should have obviously it has 911 in it, but you also should have the non-emergency number, which is for Fairfax County, it's the 703-691-2131. So if you see something suspicious person, suspicious noise, suspicious event, suspicious vehicle, that you call those in and let law enforcement look into it. Kind of goes back to that see something, say something. You know, especially during the holiday season, if you see a package that's left out, it looks unusual, whatever it may be, call it in. You know, let somebody know about it. Don't ignore it.
Well, some of these same kind of scams that you talked about earlier could happen through the mail as well. I mean, even very reliable and good charities will send you a letter and put a nickel on it. You know, like it puts a guilt trip on you.
A little bit, yes.
Yeah, I mean, and then that gets annoying. I know it annoys me when that happens to me, and usually I just send the nickel back.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it goes back to just being aware that, you know, pick your particular charity that you feel comfortable with. There's a lot of research on the web that you can go into to make sure that your particular charity, that your donation, more money of your donation goes to the actual charity itself instead of administrative fees and things like that. So that way you can feel comfortable when you give that money. And then some people give to their local house of worship, that's fine too. Whatever you feel comfortable with. But again, if someone's sending stuff to the mail to you, it allows you that time to look over the information and decide if that's a particular charity that you want.
And just because they send you address labels and little pads to write on and nickels, you know, we don't need to be thankful for that.
Yes, yes. I think it's just being aware and saying, you know, this I'm comfortable with giving, this I'm not comfortable with getting. And also realize that there's also different law enforcement charities out there. Do not feel guilty that you don't give to law enforcement. You don't have to do any of that stuff. Again, pick the ones that you feel passionately about and stick with those.
Well, I think we've run out of time, Alice.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, you did such a great job at giving us all sorts of good advice about how we should be aware of people that are out there who are up to no good.
Yes, ma'am.